What's up, YouTube? Today's Friday. You notice I'm changing up the location because when I be at the park, I'd be surrounded by too much green, and then I could have a, allergic reaction, or I could have an allergy. So we're trying to change up the locations as possible. All right, today's video topic. Before I get it, I want to make a public service announcement. Yes, I am still making YouTube videos. The reason why you may not see my channel being featured or too many videos is because of what happened with Walt Disney and Sony Pictures going back and forth on trying to make a new deal for the Spider-Man films in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So don't be panicking and saying, I ain't seen your videos, I ain't seen your channel, until they resolve that. A lot of YouTubers' videos, 1 minute you see them, and then the next minute they disappear. So it could take a while before you can see my channel get featured again. Now, there is a YouTuber, or should I say a subscriber of mine, who wanted to make a video request. So for now on, if you want me to talk about sex game or any other video topic like television and film, sports, and you have a request, put it down in the comment section. Doesn't matter if you're young or old, black or white, doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, just put it in the comment section. Just tell me the name of the subject that is regarding in your video request, and I will do it. I'll do requests for men, I'll do requests for women. Doesn't matter if you're a black man, a black woman, a white man, or a white woman. If you have an idea for a video that I have never made and never talked about, put it in the comment section. As long as it's regarding self-improvement, sex talk, sex games, sports, television and film. If you got an idea for a video that you know that's gonna go viral, please let me know, please tell me, and I'll do the best of my ability to make that video into a reality. As long as YouTube is okay with it. If it's a too tough, raunchy subject, YouTube may not let me upload the video. So yeah, I'm trying to explain to you people how YouTube is, because YouTube can take the video down if it's not to their standards. Trust me, I had some videos in the past and YouTube took them down. So as long as they're not crazy and over the top, you'll get your video requests. Now, this video request come from a person less than 24 hours ago. Yes, it's going to be a sex game video because it's a request. He wanted me to talk about DP. And you guys do know what DP is. I'm using the initials because the subject he gave me is very strong and very powerful, and it's for mature audience only. So if you're not 21 years old, you should not be watching this video. If you're 18 or 19, as long as you're 18 to 21 years of age, you can watch this video. So, yeah. So the stuff I'm about to say in this video is very strong, very powerful content, and it's 50-50. So don't get upset if you go on YouTube and this video is up for 24 hours and then 2 days later or a week later the video gets taken down. It's the fact you gave me a very strong subject, and with a strong subject, YouTube may not let it be uploaded, or they might. It's 50-50. So next time when you have a video request, make sure it's not too borderline violations, because this could violate the rules of YouTube. Video can get deleted, channel can get deleted, so you got to be very careful with subjects like this. But I'll do it because you asked for it. But next time, make sure it isn't too borderline violations with YouTube, because we don't want our channel terminated, and we don't want the good fun to come to an end because you had an idea. It's not me knocking it down. I mean, I like the idea, but you got to be very careful, because we don't know what YouTube will accept and what YouTube will not accept. And if they don't accept it, they'll take it down and delete the channel, and we don't want that. So let's have some fun, okay? I'm walking to the park while doing the video. So, yeah. All right. Now, when the light turns green, we'll get talking. So I know it sucks, but I'm trying to find an area where it isn't too impacted, and it takes a while for the light to turn green in this part of the neighborhood. I had an area, but some dude want to go drive there and block off the location, and you can get in trouble if you film somebody on camera without their permission. I don't want too many people in my videos, because then I have to either pay them some money or I have to do favors for them. I want to be able to do the video without them being in the camera, because then you get accused of trying to film people without their permission. So we're trying to get across. So, all right, now let's start the video presentation. Now, DP, I'm only going to say this one time, and then I'm going to use the initials, because I don't want the video to get taken down. Means double penetration, well, I can't even say it right, penetration. That means to, you know, break into something. But now, that takes place anywhere. Now, DP is a woman's sexual fantasy. You understand? Women who want to have sex with two men, that's a woman's sexual fantasy. A man's sexual fantasy is he wants to have sex with two women or three women. And he want to test his physical athletic ability. He want to see how long can he last. Can he last 1 hour? Can he last 2 hours? Can he last 3 hours? Can he last a whole entire day, which is 24 hours? And when a person decides they want to do that, there's rules. And the pickup artists and the dating coach community do not talk about rules of that. Now, let's talk about the rules. Rule number 1, DP is a woman's sexual fantasy. The man doesn't really pick the other man. The woman does the picking and the choosing. So in this type of situation, the woman has the power and the woman has the control. She gets to pick which two men she want to have sexual intercourse with and which two men she do not. If the woman can picture herself with two guys, it happens. If she can't picture it, if she can't see it, it doesn't happen. That's the first rule. The second rule is there are some more requirements. You got to be at least 5'11" to 6'4". You got to be tall. If you're not tall, then it ain't happening. Number 3 is you can't be fat. I'm sorry, if you're fat and out of shape, the woman's not gonna do it. Now, the reason why I say the woman gets to pick is because that's what a woman wants. Like a woman might want to go out with one guy, and then there's one guy that she wants to have sex with, but then to make it easy, I'll just have sex with two men. Now, this can take place virtually anywhere, but 99.999%, there's 3 places that it takes place. 1, it can take place in college. Usually maybe after 8 o'clock, after 9 o'clock at night. You got campus police at colleges that have to drive around the college because they get a couple of college students that try to break into classrooms, and 99.99% they're doing DP. It'd be 2 guys and 1 girl, and they break into a classroom, and the alarm system will go off. And then you can get arrested, and you can go to jail, and then you can get kicked out of class. So it's very, very risky if you do it in college. It happens in college. Yes, a lot of the big schools, it happens at, like UCLA College. Why do you think that if you ever go to UCLA College in Los Angeles, California, why do you think they have a machine that shows condoms? Like, if there's a machine for Coca-Cola and Pepsi, there is a vending machine just for condoms at UCLA College. You know why they do that? Because they know that at least 10 or maybe 15 people throughout the whole entire school semester might try something that they're not supposed to try. And the last thing they want is for someone to get a sexual transmitted disease or use the excuse of, oh, I don't want to go to the store because it's 15, 20 blocks away and I didn't have no protection for sexual intercourse. So that's why they have condom vending machines at UCLA College. That's just one big name school where a DP can take place. Another place that's very common is the workplace, where you can get fired and lose your job. And it goes on a report that you have a bad habit of breaking the rules at work. Yeah, it can take place at work too. Usually after 8 o'clock, after 9 or 10 o'clock at night, you might get 2 or 3 co-workers, maybe 4 co-workers that stay extra late at work, and the cameras can get turned off, which the cameras stay on 24 hours, but they always got it to where it doesn't go to a certain room, and you can get in trouble because if they find out that you have cameras on other rooms, but then when they try to go to room 9 or room 10 or camera 9 or camera 10, usually they have to pay they have to blackmail the security guard lots of money not to look at that room, and the security guard usually be one to get in on the action. Like a lot of them security guards be like, I want in on the action, or I'm telling on everyone. And usually the security guard gets a piece of the action, because security guard ain't gonna be watching it and then he can't get a piece of the action. So the girl doesn't want security to call LAPD, so she may not find the security guard physically, sexually attractive, but she'll only do it because the security guard wants in on the action. Which brings us to rule number 4. You must be physically, sexually attractive. The woman has a list of men that she likes, and then she has another list of men that she don't like. So if you play basketball or football, you have an 80 to 85% shot of participating in this. So if you're playing basketball in college, you've already been picked, you just don't realize it. If you're playing college football, you've been picked, you just don't know it. So if you're playing basketball, football, baseball, you might get picked at 80 to 85%. If you are in athletic shape, if you do cardio, if you do weight training, you got an 80 to 85% chance. So if you're in athletic shape, that's a requirement. If you're between 5'11" to 6'4", that is a requirement. You got to be in athletic shape, you got to play sports, and you got to be tall. And you got to be physically, sexually attractive. If you don't meet none of those requirements, you are not going to even get it. And when the woman does it, she does it like it's a job interview. She has to interview you. She has to like you. She has to have a picture in her head that you're picked. And if she can't picture it, if she just can't see herself with you and another guy, it doesn't happen. Now, let's talk about why I say it's a woman's sexual fantasy. Because if a woman fantasizes about one guy, there's a good chance she might fantasize about 2 guys, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys. When you're in college, you hear stories about, oh, they ran a train on the girl. Well, that does actually happen. And a lot of times, the guy who wants to participate is the guy that the woman does not find physically, sexually attractive. Now, which brings me to rule number 5. Do not do any weird or strange behavior of any kind. That means if you look like you might have Asperger's or autism, you may not even get a chance. You do anything that's weird or strange, you're not getting a shot. Point blank simple. There's nothing I can do about that. Now, the reason why I say it's a woman's sexual fantasy is because it's something she probably got from a movie, a television show, a book, something she's been wanting to try. And usually between the ages of 18 to 27 is usually where that could occur. And I already told you 3 of the most common places where it could take place. Well, actually, I told you 2. I told you it takes place in college. It can take place at work. And then the 3rd place is the gym. Yes, the gym. You work at 24-Hour Fitness, LA Fitness, Gold's Gym, Planet Fitness. It could take place in the gym. It has to be after hours. You know, after 9, after 10, after 11 o'clock, where there ain't nobody in the gym. If the woman's got the hots for the bodybuilder or the weightlifter or the personal trainer, he has an 80 to 85% chance of actually participating in it. It ain't just gonna be him, it's gonna be him and another guy that she finds physically, sexually attractive. If the boyfriend finds out that that's her fantasy, the man might have a problem with it, because this is where the conversation comes up. His package is bigger than my package. That means then the man don't want to do it. Like, the woman will do it, but the man be like, nah, I don't want to do it. That's if it's a relationship. If it's a marriage, then usually the husband be like, oh, no, 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 we're not doing it. And then the woman will get mad because the husband said no. Then the woman will wait until the husband go to work or go on vacation, like a business trip that might last 5 days, that might last 7 days, and she might call over 2 guys and do it without his acknowledgement. And if it ain't, and if the neighbors don't tell him, he don't know. That's if you're married or you're in a relationship. Now, let's talk about what age group of men you think don't do it but do it. Now, in the movies and the television shows, they always got it where it's a man between the ages of 18 to 29. Now, at movies and television, it's always a young guy that plays basketball, football, baseball. He's in athletic shape. He's tall. He's good looking. He looks like a Kevin Kline model. That's television and film. Now, in the real world, that only happens maybe 30, maybe 45, maybe 50% of the time. You might get a guy between the ages of 18 to 29. Most of the time, and I say most of the time, it is going to be older men that will get approached. If you're not 35, if you're not 38, if you're not 40, 42, 45, if you're not 50 years old, you will never get approached. Same rules still apply. You still got to be physically, sexually attractive. You got to be the height between 5'11" to 6'4". You got to be in shape. You got to be tall. You got to be good looking. And you see, the women don't want no guy that's scared. She don't want no guy that's afraid that he might get caught. As soon as you say the word, I'm scared, I don't think we should be doing this, the next time you call her on her house phone or her cell phone, I guarantee you, you will get blocked. You will call, the number you just called has been seriously blocked. Please check the number and call again. The number you call is out of service and unavailable. Please check the number and call again. You're going to hear that every single time, because as soon as you say, I don't think we should do this, and I'm talking about if you're a man from the age of 18 to 29, oh, we can get caught, we can go to jail. As soon as you say that, and the girl be like, it's all right, it's okay, it's fine, everything's okay. When she say that, translation, you're getting replaced. She's not going to give you too many chances after that. I'm just letting you know. Now, when she picks older men, it's going to be older men that she know for a fact that are not going to do that type of behavior. It could be a doctor. It could be a lawyer. A lot of times, it could be a police officer. You do have women that do have an fascination when it comes to police officers, firefighters, guys that are risk takers. Like a police officer, the police officer always puts his life in danger, right? There's always the chance that the police officer can get shot at. Well, he's a risk taker. He's fearless. He's been trained in combat. He knows what to expect. So if a police officer can get shot at 15 times in 1 year, he's not going to be afraid of a woman saying, I want to have sex with you and another guy. So she'll go for the police officer. If it's a firefighter, most firefighters know that a building can fall on top of them if it's a fire. Just the idea of you getting touched by some fire. You're going into a building that's on fire. That's very dangerous. Firefighter is fearless. So that firefighter is not going to be afraid of a woman saying, I want you and me and another guy. So the woman will go for police officers, firefighters, doctors, lawyers. You know, they go for someone that's brave and fearless. And most of the time, it's an older man who's experienced, who knows what to do and what not to do, who knows what to say, what not to say. The only time she might get one young guy and one older guy is that the young guy is usually cute. So that's why she gets the young guy. But then the young guy is scared to do a certain task. Well, every time she goes to the young guy is scared to do it. So she has to go to an older man. And then she gets comfortable with the idea that older men are not afraid to do the task and young men are. Now, I'm not saying you don't have no young men that can't do the task. I'm just trying to explain to you the nature of the subject that you asked me to do. So when you watch this video, don't be shocked or surprised that it's 24 hours later, or it's 24 hours later, or it's 3 days or a week later, and you go onto the channel and the video get taken down. Because it's a very strong subject, and it's 50-50. YouTube might let it stay up. YouTube might not let it stay up. It's the fact that you asked for a strong request. I'm answering all 7 questions. It's 1 question, but it's 7 answers. Now, let's talk about safety precaution. Yes, you have to have protection. If you don't have protection, then what's going to probably happen is you can get sexual transmitted diseases. So usually you have to have condoms. If the girl doesn't want the condom, then that's one of those decisions you're going to have to make. If you do it, that's that you're at risk. If you don't do it, she might just replace you with somebody else. So you have a choice. I'm trying to explain to you how to pull this off. But usually it starts in college. It can take place at work. It can even happen in the gym. And you'll hear stories, you'll hear rumors at work. I heard such and such did this at work and got fired and lost their job. They may never straight out tell you who got fired. They may never straight out tell you who it is. You just say, oh, I heard this, or I heard that. I heard that both of them got fired at work. So what happens at work? But it has to be after 9, after 10 o'clock at night. You might hear it in college. Oh, I heard such and such got kicked off the football team or off the basketball team for blah, blah, blah conduct. Usually that takes place in college and at work. It does happen at the gym. Every now and then it might take place at the park, at the beach, random places. But usually that's reserved as a woman's sexual fantasy. A man's sexual fantasy is I want 2 women, I want 3 women. And then usually that can last hours. That can last an hour, that can last 2 hours, that can last 3 hours, that can last 24 hours. But DP is really a woman's sexual fantasy, not really a man's sexual fantasy. Most men will say no because it goes back to what I said. That guy's package is bigger than mine's, and his ego cannot take it. So if he has an ego, he don't ever want his wife or girlfriend to ever mention it. Anytime a woman brings it up, a man will get angry because he know what that means. And that's how cheating occurs. Then the girl can cheat, and then she'll do comparisons, and then the man will get mad because she keeps comparing him to the other guy. And then if he comes home from work and he catches her with 2 other guys when he told her a total of 5 to 10 times not to do it and she did it anyway, then he's going to be very angry and furious. That's when, all right, if you can cheat, I can cheat. If you can do it, I can do it. That's when the man will say, so if it's okay for you to mess with 2 men, I guess it's okay for me to mess with 2 women. And then the woman come home from work and see him messing with 2 women. And, you know, the knife gets pulled out, the gun gets pulled out, police gets involved. And then they call it a crime of passion. So you got to be very careful when you do this type of stuff. You don't know how a personality, you don't know how a man or a woman will respond to it. You don't know how they're going to feel. Like, it may be good in the beginning, and then maybe later they'll live to regret it. If the sex is terrible, and I think you should know this by now, if the sex is terrible, thanks to me too, if it's terrible, then you're going to get the police called on you because you didn't perform at a high competitive level. So that's why I said that if you play basketball or football, you understand the burdens of performance. Now, if you're not in athletic shape, that's going to be a bit of a problem. The woman has these rules of requirements. And if you don't match up to those requirements, then there's going to be a problem. Now, if she just straight out just say, that's my fantasy, then you have to keep the secret. You don't keep the secret, she'll never trust you ever again. I had friends in college that actually done this and told me the rules. These are the rules. These are the terms. These are the conditions. You break any of those terms or those conditions, then that's it for you. So now that I explained the good and the bad, That's your answer. You asked one question, I gave you 7 answers. Now, if you have any more requests, make sure it's not as extreme as this one, because, like I said, I don't want you to come on here 24 hours later, or 2 days later, or 3 or 5 days later, and the video gets deleted by YouTube, because it's 50-50. They might let it stay up there, but if a woman gets upset and don't like the video presentation, the woman could just say, I don't like that, I'm offended, and then just like that, video gone. Now, I'll make another YouTube video of a different category in place of it, in case of an emergency, if this gets taken down. What I'm saying is, don't be surprised that you got your fan crest with video and then YouTube takes it down, because it all depends on if they like the content or if they don't like the content. I'm trying to keep it as clean and PG as possible, and this might be considered too strong of a content, so don't be surprised if you get what you want and then somebody goes, I don't like that, and then the video's gone. So it's not like I'm not telling you, I'm just taking your answer and giving you 7 answers. Now that you know the good and the bad, just remember, DP's not really a man's sexual fantasy. It's usually a woman's. Now, if you go to places like Las Vegas, or New York City for that matter, you might get a couple who might say, we want you to help us out with something. That's if they're married. If they're in a relationship, the rules might be similar but a little different. I pretty much explained everything in this video, so when I put DP in the title, you should know what DP is. I might change up the title, I might just leave it at it. It all depends on how it gets perceived on the internet. If people like the video, great. If you hate the video, that's great too. If you have a fan request, it don't matter if you're a black man, a white woman, a white man, young or old. If you have a video request, put it in the comment section. It has to regard to the subject matter. And it can't be too strong of content, because if YouTube don't like it, it doesn't get uploaded. That means if I upload it and YouTube say I violated their terms, video can get deleted, channel can get terminated, and you will not find this on YouTube. So make sure it's something that's in YouTube's guidelines, okay? Let's try to keep it PG. Let's try to by the rules of YouTube, and let's have some fun. Peace.